Hey my loves, it's Hani. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about something that we often don't give ourselves enough permission to do. To be still. In a world that glorifies constant hustle, constant movement, constant entertainment, we forget that all creation is born in stillness. Think of the womb. It's dark, it's still, it's quiet, it's fluid. It's a place of deep nurturing before life is brought into the world. In a similar way, we need that stillness to truly create anything meaningful. But here's the thing, balance is key. We all have a balance of this still and active energy, this masculine and feminine energy. And I'm not talking about, gender stereotypes of what masculinity and femininity is. I'm talking about the divine masculine and feminine energies. The masculine, it's about pushing, action, doing, going, right? Making it happen. The feminine, that's about that flow, that creativity, that receptivity. It's that channel for life. It's that rest and within energy. The truth is that we need both. The masculine helps us bring our ideas, our intuitions, our inspirations into reality. But without the feminine, we're just doing without truly creating from within. Hustle culture encourages us to always be in action, to always be doing, to always be pushing forward. But if you're always on the go, when do you have time to really think for yourself, to really be, to really innovate? You don't. You just run on autopilot until you eventually burn out. Without taking the time to receive, be open to, and nurture your own ideas, you're just going to be copying and replicating other people's dreams, desires, and thoughts. You can only copy instead of truly creating, which you do when you really are able to cultivate what's inside. But if we're always in that flow, if we're always in that stillness, and we're always, tuned within, then nothing really comes to life. Without stillness, you're really just doing without dream, without vision. But without action, you're just dreaming with no results. If you feel stuck or uninspired, or like you're just repeating all the same motions, maybe ask yourself, when was the last time you just sat with your thoughts, with yourself, without doing, without learning, without being on the move, or without consuming and scrolling and taking in other people's ideas? When was the last time you actually just sat with and listened to yourself? We often use our free times to consume rather than to create. Instead of sitting with our thoughts, allowing ourselves to process, we are taking in others, we're scrolling, we're binge watching, right? We're always tuning into something else because we feel like we always gotta be entertained, busy. We're taking in other people's experiences instead of, living out our own. And while there's nothing wrong with entertainment, constantly consuming can really clutter our minds and ends up blocking our creative flow. It also ends up taking us kind of away from awareness of ourselves, and it brings us out of touch with what we really think, with what we really want, because we're just having everyone else's thoughts and needs in our head. So what would happen if you redirected all of that outward energy back into yourself? What if instead of scrolling, you picked up a pen, a journal, a paintbrush, an instrument? What if you let yourself breathe and see what ideas naturally flow through you? You would probably find yourself much more clear-headed, much more inspired, and with much more energy to back up your drive to create. Often when we want to recharge after a long day at school, at work, then we boom, put on our headphones, boom, while we're eating, we're watching Netflix. And that, that's important too in moderation. I'm not saying that you gotta full on, cut yourself off from all of that and you gotta constantly be doing something creative, right? Or constantly be thinking. No, I'm saying that to really recharge, sometimes we just really need to be still and just catch up with our own thoughts. Just let our minds process and to just be present. You don't have to meditate for hours to access stillness. Here's a few simple ways that you can make space for your own thoughts. Number one is just creating more mindful moments throughout the day. Doing things mindfully can turn everyday actions into mini meditations. This could even be putting your laundry away, right? Walking to wherever you have to walk, or taking a shower. Taking a shower can really be such a great way to just invite flow, literally, as the water is flowing over your body. Bring your awareness to the sensations you're experiencing, and just allow yourself to just be in that moment. Some of the best ideas come in the shower because there's really that perfect balance of entertainment, kind of, because it's a very sensory rich experience, which makes us more mindful, which makes us feel more present, which calms us down. But there's also all that subtle, soft emotion, which keeps our minds kind of engaged, and it just lets our thoughts kind of flow through. It relaxes you without distracting you. Number two is eating with awareness. Food, also like showering, is a very sensory rich experience, which can really ground us and bring us back to our body. Instead of scrolling while you're eating, or watching Netflix, or whatever you do as you gobble your food down, just take a few moments to breathe, to appreciate what you see in front of you. Take a bite, notice all the textures, the taste, the flavors. And at least for the first few bites, before you watch your Netflix, just allow yourself to be mindful. And sometimes I have some of the best ideas while I actually once in a while allow myself to eat without distraction. While I invite that stillness as I am nourishing myself, and then often find some pretty nourishing thoughts flow through. 3 is journaling. Now, journaling, it doesn't have to be a whole documentary. It doesn't have to be a whole documentation of your day, right? There's so many ways to journal. You could do, boom, bullet points. You can just do, writing whatever words come to your head. You can write about any instance on your mind. Or you can just write out any ideas that you're having. Journaling, it really allows you to declutter your mind and to help see things more clearly by just putting it out on paper. Because it takes something so big, so vast up here, and it brings it down to simple 3D. So it helps you kind of just clear your mind and make space. And also it helps you realize all the ideas that you already got in your mind. Like sometimes I'll be writing on paper, or now honestly it's more digital for me. I'll be typing and I'll be writing out some ideas that I'm having, some thoughts, some ways I'm thinking for an essay, for YouTube, journaling. And then I'll realize how much information, how much wisdom I actually have up in my head. Because so often we don't realize the abundance of wisdom and ideas that we actually have within us. And only when we start writing it out, when we start talking about it, do we really tap into that flow of infinite ideas, that creative energy, and all of that wisdom that we just have to tap into and open ourselves to. My last tip is to invite more awareness, more reflection, and more mindfulness into your nighttime routine. Turn off distractions, breathe, and listen to what your own mind is telling you. Instead of scrolling before bed as you're getting ready, allow yourself to just digest the day. Our mind gives us important information on how we feel, what we believe, what's important to us, how we feel about different interactions, how we can improve. If we don't take time to listen to it, then we're missing out on vital information and feedback that we're giving to ourselves. Our higher selves are waiting to be heard, and the universe is always speaking to us and through us if we're open to listen. So the next time you have a free moment, resist the urge to immediately fill it with distractions and the next thing you gotta do. Give yourself permission to breathe, to be still, to think, to process, to create, because that's where the magic happens. I would love if you let me know in the comments how you create space and stillness in your life. And if this video resonated, I would appreciate if you liked, subscribed, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss another video. And I'll see you next time. Bye!